Okay, for today's class, we will be trying to render a floor plan, okay, in Photoshop. This is one of the most important things out in architecture design. Most of you guys would be required to render a floor plan when you come to architecture, okay. So this is basically done in Photoshop in a manner that is by the help of clipping mask and using some options such as blending options and using the tool Lazzo tool. And there would be something if you could master these things, that is the clipping mask, the blending options, the brushes, and the use of the lasso tool and the masks, no? You can basically create anything and everything, like you can basically render floor plans with a great quality. Okay, so that is what I will be trying to cover for today's class. So let me go to the Photoshop. So basically this is what we were having yesterday. We basically did the pixel correction and just kept it, and we basically had some introduction to some of the stuffs out here. Okay, so today what I did is was I tried to keep this I just tried to remove the walls in this and just kept it plain, so that for today we will be basically looking out so as to render this. The first and foremost thing to be done is you need to basically create the renders of where you need to basically make the walls. Okay, so for walls to be created, first thing what you do is with the help of the magic wand. Out here we have a tool known as magic wand. Select a magic wand, make sure this is the tolerance at 30. Okay, out here the tolerance is 30, and then go click on the places where you want this walls to be selected. Keep on press shift so that you can press the remaining parts. Okay, I'm just selecting all the walls, so you can see that it starts selecting the walls regions. Cool. I basically taught you this how to do yesterday itself. If you have basically selected something and you want to undo, just press Ctrl Z and then keep pressing shift and then keep selecting it. Okay, I'll just select all these stuffs for now. And okay, I basically selected all the walls out in this region. Now what you need to do is make sure you make a new layer. Okay, out here in the second one, needed to the delete there is an option known as create new layer. So what you are basically doing is that what you selected will be coming to a new layer. Okay, so you don't basically disturb the PDF that you are basically using. So that is what is the methodology that I would suggest you to do, because if you basically do it on the PDF that you have created, you cannot edit later. Okay, so what you need to do is anything that you try to edit or do anything, always create a new layer and then do work on it, and also double click and change and type what is the thing that you are doing. For example, now I am doing it as wall. Okay, and then what you need to do is go to paint bucket. Out here there is a tool known as paint bucket. Okay, click on the paint bucket and just click white. Make sure you are in the wall layer and then just apply on it. So you can see that you basically get the walls to be white in color. You can press Ctrl D so as to deselect. Okay, now I basically colored it white. Now if you want to change the color, or I will teach you a thing that is known as clipping mask. Okay, clipping mask means that if you, that is a technique that is used widely so as to render. Okay, so for what clipping mask does is that if you have a texture or if you have a substance, okay, that substance will get applied on the layer that is below. That is what clipping mask does. For example, I am creating a new layer by clicking this corner. Okay, and just pressing Control Alt G you can press, or you can do a right, you can do the right click, and then you can see there is an option known as create clipping mask. Okay, then what you need to do is select the color from here. You can basically select the color from here. Okay, and basically I'm making it a maroon color or so, and keeping it okay, and then using the paint bucket just apply it. Okay, now you can see the layer is turned or maroon color or so. Okay, a brown color or so. So what this does is, this layer is having a maroon color that is applied on the white color out here. If I uncheck this, you can see, okay, this maroon color is being applied on top of the wall. So this is also possible if you want textures. You can basically create a big texture and basically apply that on the below layer. Okay, now you can see that if I'm offing this layer is getting applied on top of this white layer, is this maroon layer got applied on top of the white layer that I had. So that is what this clipping mask does. So just make sure that you understand this really well, because most of the things that we are going to do is basically on this clipping mask only. Okay, second thing is I need to apply some pattern. Okay, for example, if you know the brick wall basically has a hatch pattern. Okay, so if how to basically create that, for that you need to go to walls option, and then go out here. There is an option called there is a fx that is added, that is known as a style. Can either click blend options from here, or you can left click it and also click on blend options. Okay, then you will come to such a layer. From here, check the box known as pattern overlay. Okay, and click on this. So you can see that now the pattern which is seen here gets applied. Okay, so I just select it, and these are some default patterns that are available. Okay, and if I basically reduce the opacity, this gets blended along with the style or the wall that I have. And you can also change the blend motion, the blend mode, which basically we used when we were doing post productions in V-Ray, that is multiply, color burn or so. If I use multiply or color burn, lightens or stuffs like that, you can basically adjust it according to your wish. And also you can change the scale. Okay, and if you are not interested with this pattern, if you want some other pattern other than this, you can go to internet, you can browse, you can just type Photoshop patterns. Okay, you will get wide range of patterns that are available on the net. You can just download it, and later you can see there is a settings symbol out here. Just click on it. You can basically go get click on load patterns, and basically click on the file where you have downloaded that, and you can bring the pattern here and you can use it. Okay, you can do that as well. Then the second thing that I normally tell everyone to do is the stroke. Okay, tick on the stroke option as well. Okay, what this stroke does is, if you come to stroke, there is a option like this. Okay, the stroke will help you to give a outline over it. If you know that section will have a sectional cut, and sectional cut will be the boldest line in any drawing, so as to bring that effect, this stroke would help you. Okay, and now it is black in color. Normally if I'm using something like of this shade, I normally use it as white. You can change the color and give it okay. You can see that now it became something like this. Okay, and make sure this is outside, not inside. Also make sure it is outside, and you can change the size of it from here. Okay, keep it 8, 7, how much you feel like it is okay, and then give okay. Cool. So this is the options that normally used. So as to now, you can see that your walls are highlighted, and it has basically got a effect, really good effect of a sectional cut basically happened on the wall. Okay, so till this much, any doubts for anyone? Okay, no doubts means I'll go on. There is one more effect that you guys can use if you want, that is also called as a shadow option. You can left click on the blend mode, and also tick something known as a drop shadow. Okay, if you tick on drop shadow, you can see a shadow gets applied on your on your on the walls. Okay, then click on the drop shadow. You can see there is an option so as to set the direction of the angle. Okay, angle at which the sunlight comes in. Got it? So if you could rotate it and adjust it according to your wish, you can basically give it, and then you can basically increase the distance as well as decrease the distance of the way how much the shadow is coming. You can increase the spread, you can increase the quality, the size, and also you can change the opacity. Okay, so as to get the really the effect that is required, or the depth effect on your Photoshop render. Okay, on the wall render that you are making, you can basically give the depth with the help of the shadow tool, and then you can give OK, so that you now get the drop shadow out on your on the walls. Okay, so this much is about the walls. Now we will see how we can apply a floor finish on the floors of this part. Okay, so now I will basically try to give a wooden flooring on this parking area. Okay, so how that could be done? I will suggest you a website which is known as 361bit. Okay, 361bit.com, wherein which they provide you with the G library. Okay, you can go to the G library of them. There are really good options that you will basically get with Photoshop brushes, Photoshop actions as well. Okay, as well as there are illustrations, textures, and all. You can go to textures out here, and you can download the textures that are available. For example, now if I want wood, okay, or I wanted concrete, you can basically double click on the wood, and you can see there are lot many high quality textures that are available for free. You guys can download anything. For example, from here I'm just downloading this. Just left click it and then just press download. It will basically download it. Okay, and then what you need to do is, okay, this it got downloaded. I'll just go to my Photoshop and tell one more thing before importing the image. Okay, importing the image, whichever place you want the floor finish to come, what you need to do, similar to my walls, what you did, you just need to use the magic tool, select on that region. Okay, first in the PDF just need to select on the region, and what you need to do is create a new layer with the help of the filling color, put a white background onto it. Okay, and then control D, deselect, and just name it as floor finish. Cool. And then you can import this image now onto this Photoshop. Okay, and if you want to give this texture onto, if I want to give the texture on top of this, okay, so what I'll do, I'll resize it. Now it is in resize, so I can just press shift and then this arrow key, just drag it a little down, so that I basically make it. You can basically scale according to the proportions that is required. It can come out also, it's fine. Then click on enter, and then you can see that nothing works on it. Okay, it is because you need to rasterize the layer. Rasterize the layer, then again press alt. Okay, then you can see that there is a, you can, if you want to make a copy of it, what you can do is press alt and drag it. Okay, then you can see that it becomes a copy, and you can place it. Okay, so you have basically made two. Just select both by pressing shift and select these two layers and merge it. Merge the layers. Okay, once you merge the layers, what you can do is drag this on the top of the floor finish. Why I did it is that now what I need to do is apply this texture onto this floor. Okay, onto this white substance with the help of clipping mask. If you left click it, you can see there is an option called create clip mask. If it is not coming, there will be another option called smart objects to make. Then you can make that, and basically then you can click on that, it convert to smart objects, and then you can click on the create clipping mask if this clipping mask is disabled. Okay, Just click on the convert to smart objects and again click on create clipping mask. It will come. Cool. Now I am just clicking on the create clipping mask and you can see it got applied on my floor. Now you can see that the floor finish is done for my for my car porch. Got it? So any doubts till this? No doubts? Okay, cool. I'll go further. Now what I am going to do is I am going to create some light effect onto it. Okay, for creating light effect, the norm I will create a hard method, that is a one more, that is a little complex method. I'll show you that because this is used basically so as to give something like you want to learn something called that inverting mask and all. So as to show that, I will tell you a little harder method and I'll tell you a shortcut as well with the help of brush, so as to create the light effects onto it and the depth effect as well onto this render or onto this floor. Okay, for that, first thing what you need to do is there is now a floor finish that is there with us, right? There is a copy as well as a floor finish. So now for all the floor finish, you can basically copy and basically you can basically make for all these things. Okay, out here which all are there, you can basically create this and you can create a sort of effect onto this. Okay, you can basically create the floor finish for all the objects out here, all the places like the dining room, like the drawing room, everywhere you can basically create it. Okay, and then what you can do is you can create a group. Okay, there is an option third from here, you can basically say there is a file option. You can click on the new group so that you basically get something like this, and now select all the floors and drag and drop onto this. Okay, now you can see that this has these two has become a group. Okay, so what this group allows is to basically apply any specific functions only onto this group will be helpful. Okay, so now I'm just double clicking it and just writing floors. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is, as we normally do, how to create levels, what you need, you just press on this adjustments, you basically have a levels to be created. Just click on the levels, you can see such a thing coming up. Drag this, keep it just over this floor. Okay, and then, sorry, it became under the floors, just keep it on top of the floors. And what you want to do, again you need to apply the same create clip mask. Okay, you can left click it and create a clip mask, or you can see there's an option out here. Okay, okay, this adjacent effects all layers below. Okay, so just click on this so that you can basically just click on this, because now there was a small if problem of lighting. Okay, so then you can basically create, you can basically drag so that you get a lot of light. Okay, everything becomes light in color. Why I am doing this is that if you want light to be shown, you want it it should be first white in color and then you invert it. Okay, you make it fully disappear and then you erase it. Okay, this is one technique that is known as a inverse mask technique. And there is another technique, that is you can take the brush and simply apply the white color or the black color, whichever you require. Okay, so now I will use the inverse mask technique and then I will basically create this. First I will make it a light color and then I will click on this one. Okay, there's a mask known as there's basically will be a white color mask. Type Control I. You can see it became black. Now what happened? The white color is inside. You can see that it is inside. Now you need to erase it. Okay, for erasing, what I do is just go to the lasso tool and then you just make a box like this. Okay, just create a box. When you come to the edge, it will show a circle, which means it is going to close it. And then use the brush out here. There's the brush tool out here. Take the brush, go take a soft brush. Okay, soft brush. Make sure the size is 0 and you can basically make sure you have a really good size, and then make the opacity less and then if you, okay, it is, okay, just make sure you have some more opacity. Okay, okay, just change the color, it is white in color, and then you just need to just apply it. Okay, just give the effect a little. So what is happening is something that is below basically starts up getting shown onto this. Okay, so this is one technique that you can use, and you can basically just give that effect how much you want, and then you can basically press Ctrl D. So you basically get that effect, okay, of light coming from this thing. This is one technique that you can use, or I'll show you one more technique. That is, I'll just delete this one. Okay, just go delete this layer, just press yes. And then one more technique that I normally use, okay, that is with the lasso tool, create a new layer, go to lasso tool, just make something like this, a square rectangle like this, and use the gradient tool out. Sorry, there is a gradient tool in the paint bucket. If you, there is a drop menu, you can go to gradient. You can basically see there is an option like this, okay, a transparent layer and a white thing. Okay, if you want, you can change the color as well to yellow or so, whichever you want. Okay, and you'll see that the yellow gets reflected out here as well. Just select it. Okay, now you can see that there is a yellow color that is coming up. Now just draw a line. Okay, just keep on kicking and basically draw a line. You can see there is a effect. You can basically adjust it, just adjust it however you want. You can see that there is a sort of effect that is coming up. Okay, and then you can change the opacity and play with the opacity so as to get it. You can change the color as well to white, as if you guys want, like if it is white you guys want to select, just select white and then use the gradient tool and just give it. Okay, so you can see that now it is coming. You can just play with the opacity as well, and this plus Ctrl D. You can see this is one more effect which I normally use. Okay, this is what I prefer. Then there is one more thing that you can do, one more way of basically giving light. Okay, that is known as the brush technique. Okay, you go to the lasso, just select the region. Okay, and go to brush, simply go to the brush, just select a brush that is of light white in color and just simply give it. Okay, just reduce the hardness of this and the opacity of this and basically give it. Okay, and this would be really easy if you want to basically give a black color, that is a depth, or you want to basically give some shadow effects. Okay, this would be really helpful for basically giving that. Cool. And then you can basically press Ctrl D, then you can basically come out. So this layer will be the effect layer, like the shadow and lighting. Just type this and type the steps, because na, or else you will get confused. Always make sure the layers are in a organized manner. Okay, so this is about the techniques that is used. Now what I normally does is, if you want to have a car, okay, you can basically download a png image, okay, from the net, from the, there is a site known as clean png, there is also a site known as png tree. Okay, there are these sites basically provides you free png images. You can basically type car plan or so, and just download images, and okay, can basically get lot of plans. Okay, can be, now it is basically showing some other plans. Okay, so if you guys want, you can basically download, just search in the net as well, you will get a lot of stuffs. Okay, so yeah, I already have downloaded a image. I must be having a downloaded image of this car. Okay, there is a car image that I have already downloaded. You can basically, I am just drag and dropping it. Okay, and just resizing it, and just keeping it on top of the one that we were basically having it. Okay, it looks fine, and just press enter. Now you can see the realism that is coming. You can basically change the contrast levels as well, as I have mentioned. Control M you can press. Okay, rasterize the image first and then press Control M. and play with the curves a little, how much you want to change, or you can basically change the levels, control L, and change the darkness and brightness of this, and basically make sure it comes with aligned with the ones that we have basically rendered, and give it a okay. Okay, now you can see that it become more realism. Got it? So this is how you basically make a sort of a rendered proper plans that out in Photoshop. Till this much, any doubts? No doubts. Okay, now I'll just go to the brush. Now I'll tell you two brushes that is really important out in Photoshop. If you go to brush, okay, now you can go to the 361's G library, where in which you can see that you have something known as Photoshop brushes. Okay, just download this concept tree brush as well as the tree ABR. Okay, because these two brushes, what it has is that if you can go to the brush, there is something out here, you can basically select the typology of the brush. Okay, and out here itself there is an option, that is out in the settings option is there, select, you can load the brush. Okay, now these two are the ones that I downloaded and kept. You can basically select these two and just load it. Okay, once you load, you will get these images, that is the trees. Okay, these are basically the trees. If you could see, I think that is not properly seen, but but you can see that these are elevations of trees, okay, as brushes, and these are plants of trees as brushes. Okay, I am selecting one brush, I am selecting it, creating a new layer, typing it as trees. Okay, and selecting this brush, selecting the size of it, keeping the size, changing the color to green. Okay, just select the color that you want as green, and then what I am going to do is make sure the opacity is okay, how much you want, just click on it. You can see that it basically gives you the trees effect. Okay, you can basically increase the size, and you can again do it. You can again give at places wherever you feel like giving. You can change the type as well. Okay, there are lot many types out here, like normal, this one I'll just try. I'll just increase the size, keep it. Okay, now if you want to just give it a shadow effect or so, like you can double click so that it becomes darker, and just reduce it and just give it in the side, you will basically get the shadow effect as well. Okay, just play with this, play with the opacities, and basically give at some places or so, so as to give a sort of a cool effects. Okay, so this is really important. You can basically play with the opacity, play with the flow, play with the blend modes that is available, and you can also play with this. Okay, you in sections, if you are basically rendering it, the same things is to be used, but you can basically change the tree typology. Okay, like this one you can use instead. Okay, that this type of trees could be used. Okay, so that you get the effect also. Cool. So this much was to be taught for today's class. Any doubts for you guys? Any doubts? No doubts? Okay, then I'll teach you one more stuff, that is just if I want to basically create a sort of isometry, okay, of this plan. So what I normally does, there is an option known as isometry out here, but I'm not able to find it in Photoshop. Normally illustration has that. So what I does is, uh, uh, if you can press enter, you will basically have it on your screen, right? So if you press Control T, you will basically transform it. Left click it at that moment, you can see there is an option known as skew. Okay, just click skew, and you can see there is a, when you come to the corner, there's a white color applying. Okay, just move it like this, make sure it comes to 30. You can see on top there is an image, that is, there is a sort of texting that is coming, that is showing 38.9 or so. Just make it 30, means 30 30 30. You can use that is isometric view, or you can pick proper isometry, isometric, that is the 45-45. I normally use 30-30 because it is more better for aesthetic purpose. Okay, just keep it 30 out here in this manner. So I'm just making it 30, goes to 30. Okay, and from here also you can basically lift it to 30. So this is already in 30, I guess. Okay, fine. Okay. Okay, keep this also in 30. Again, this was also in 30, I guess. Okay, fine. Just move it a little and then again drag this down so as to reach something like, just adjust it a little so that it comes to 30, and then you can basically get an isometric view. Okay, okay, okay. I guess this is okay, fine. Then I'll just enter it. You can basically see it comes something like this. You can again do transform. You can basically change the size and keep it. And if you want like two plants or so, you can basically have the same. If you could see that there will be some writings on here. Just make sure that all the whatever image you are making now, it becomes in the same this thing, x, y, h, everything becomes the same. You will get the same type in this. Okay, and then you can basically use alt, and then you can basically copy it. Press shift and then rise it. It basically moves in a single plane. So you can basically make the exploded views as well. Okay, onto your this thing. So you can basically group this, make it merge layers, and then you can again transform this together so as to basically create something like this. Okay, this was just an additional one. If you guys want to use it, you guys can use, because normally we don't use it for plants. Basically we do it as a model. Okay, exploded views. If you guys want, you can basically try this as well. Okay, cool. So that's what for today's class.